Before we descend into the dark waters of Pearl Harbor, make sure you're subscribed to WarZone Tales. Turn on notifications. You don't want to miss the stories they don't teach you in history class. Imagine silence. The fires have died down. The smoke is clearing over Oahu. It's the night of December 7th, 1941. The attack is over. But for the sailors standing guard on Ford Island, the horror is just beginning. Because in the dead quiet of the night, they could hear it coming from the black water. From the overturned hull of the USS Oklahoma, from the sunken decks of the West Virginia. Tap, 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 deep, grave, slow-paced. It wasn't wreckage settling. It was a message. Morse code. SOS. Sailors, hundreds of them, trapped alive in airtight compartments below the waterline, entombed in steel. The men sent to find them faced a job worse than any battlefield. Navy salvage divers. They had to go in. Descending into the harbor wasn't just swimming. It was descending into hell. The water was a toxic soup of oil, gasoline, and debris. Visibility? Zero. They were working by touch alone in absolute darkness. One diver later recalled the feeling of sliding through narrow, twisted passageways inside the capsized USS Oklahoma. He said, "You didn't know if you were swimming up, down, or sideways until you hit a bulkhead." But the physical danger wasn't the worst part. It was what they bumped into in the dark. Floating bodies. Sometimes limbs. They had to push past their fallen shipmates to get deeper into the ship. Imagine that. Feeling a uniform in the pitch black, realizing it's a body, and having to shove it aside to keep moving. The most harrowing story comes from the USS West Virginia. She settled upright in the shallow mud, her main deck just underwater. Marines guarding the wreck reported hearing banging from the forward hull for days. They knew men were in there, but they couldn't get to them. Burning oil on the surface, unstable wreckage. Cutting through the thick armor plate would have caused sparks, igniting the remaining fumes and killing everyone instantly. So they had to just listen. The tapping on the West Virginia didn't stop after 2 days, or 3. It continued until December 23rd. Think about that. 16 days after the attack. When salvage crews finally raised the West Virginia months later, they found 3 bodies in storeroom A111. They also found a calendar. The men had marked off every single day they survived in the dark, waiting for a rescue that never came. The last mark was December 23rd. With that much death, that much sudden, violent trauma concentrated in one place, it's no surprise the stories didn't end when the war did. Guards patrolling Ford Island in the weeks after the attack reported seeing figures walking the decks of ships that were completely underwater. Wet footprints leading nowhere. And then there's the USS Arizona, the tomb of over 1,100 men. Divers who have gone down there in recent decades for survey work report strange feelings, an overwhelming sense of sadness, equipment malfunctioning for no reason. Some have even reported feeling a hand grab their ankle in the murky water, only to turn around and see nothing but the rusted hull. They say the oil that still leaks from the Arizona, the black tears, isn't just fuel. It's the ship still grieving. The horrors of Pearl Harbor weren't just the bombs and torpedoes. It was the long, slow nightmare that followed in the dark. What's the most terrifying story you've heard from WW2? Tell us in the comments below. And if you have a family member who served, share their story. We want to honor them.